The reason why you see all these pollsters are saying they think the Republicans are going to hold the Senate. Most of them think it's 85% chance they will hold the Senate. Really, only a quote-unquote blue wave type of election actually gets the Democrats to control. And the reason is there's massive structural advantages for Republicans in the Senate election. If without anyone being elected here, these are absolute locks. 42 Republicans, 23 Democrats. So we go into this election with Republicans having a 19-seat advantage in the Senate. It's just a matter of fleshing out the rest. Problem is, a lot of these races are going to go to the Democrats that are undecided. So if you go at just things that look like pretty sure things, likely, safe seats and likely seats, you get to about 46 Republicans and about 41 Democrats. So they're going to, it's states like, New York are going to go, and Utah is going to go to Republicans, and we're assuming all of these things. So it's 46, 41, and then you get to the closer races. In the middle there, you have a couple that look like they're leaning towards Democrats, a couple like they're leaning towards Republicans, and then a bunch in the middle. So to get to 50, however, for Democrats, they not only have to win all of their safe races and all their likely wins, they have to win their leaner races as well. That gets them to 43. So they would have to win 7 of the 9 toss-up races. Now, one of them is listed, the New York Times lists Menendez as a toss-up race. I don't believe that. That is a Democrat race. I think it's a leaner. It's not impossible the Republican could win there, but how many times do we have to be fooled by freaking races in New Jersey as Republicans? It looks like Menendez is probably going to pull that off. There's some polling that shows it close. The other one in that group is Cruz. Now, Cruz has had some polling that has showed him recently up only by 3 or 4 points, but he is still the favorite in this race in Texas over Beto, despite the $9 trillion that Democrats are spending on it. So if the Democrats can't get the Cruz seat, they would have to sweep all of the other toss-up races, all of them. And that's not likely. I mean, you really look at some of these races. Some of them are, I think, Republican favorites. Races, I think McCaskill's in serious trouble in Missouri. I think there's a good poll in Florida, although most of the polling has showed the Democrats slightly ahead. Scott actually was ahead in one poll in Florida today. The Indiana race is a complete toss-up. Nevada is a toss-up. Tennessee is probably leaning towards Republicans. If they can just win Cruz and Tennessee, they're going to hold the Senate. That's likely how this goes. And they could, after that, everything's gravy, right? They could easily win 5, 6 of these toss-up races. And in that case, they're going to have a nice, hefty advantage to get things passed. Of course, doesn't mean that much unless you also hold the House. It's going to be hard to get things through.
So the House has passed so many things that the Senate has just not acted on. Mm-hmm. If the House is lost to the Democrats, we need to be on the phone with the Senate on Wednesday saying, pass those bills. Pass the bills that we've been waiting and passed by the House, because you're not going to get any legislation through with the Democrats in control of the House, and God forbid the Democrats in control of Congress, which in control of the Senate as well. I just don't think that's going to happen.
That stuff should be in session on Christmas morning.
Yeah,
they should be still voting on stuff Christmas morning. They shouldn't take one day off until that new Congress arrives.
It's absolutely true, and I will tell you this: they are so desperate. The press is so desperate for this to be true and a blue wave. Just know this, no matter what happens, unless no Republicans show up, this is not a blue wave. And no matter what happens, unless, again, the Republicans lose everything they're expected to win, this is nothing like what it usually is. I'm not even talking about 2010, that wave with the Tea Party. I'm talking about what it usually is. When a president who is very active, usually they lose the House and maybe the House and the Senate when you get to midterms, because Americans just like to have the balance of power and the checks and balances. If this is close, that says a ton not about Donald Trump, but about how ineffective and how out of touch with the American people, their own voters, how out of touch the Democrats really are. But all of this is just gobbledygook if you're not out voting tomorrow.